Live. What is up, people? We are in the building. Real cannabis entrepreneur in the building once again. And we're going to get it popping today, ladies and gentlemen. Big up to everybody. Everybody chime in and come on in, man. Welcome once again to Real Cannabis Webinar Series, baby. We are going to get it popping. My camera's all jacked up today. I've been doing a bunch of wild stuff over here. Let me get my set right, man. Let me get my set right, people. Got my camera messed up. But we're going to get it popping today because this is a very important session, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very important session. We had to do this one ASAP. ASAP because the whole problem in the market, in the whole New Jersey market, man, is the lack of capital. The lack of capital is holding everybody back. So we got to find some ways to get some capital going, ladies and gentlemen. So that's where I had to bring Dr. David Cunit, UCS Advisors, baby. He's in the backstage right now, waiting to get it on. He's always traveling. He's still dedicated. He still jumps on the webinar. Even if it's a hotel or whatever, he doesn't matter, man. He'll still make it happen, man, because he wants to make sure that everybody gets the information that we got at Real Can Entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of y'all just tuning in, my name is Gary George, RealCannabisEntrepreneur.com, RealCannabisEntrepreneur.com, October 5th and 6th, baby, North New Jersey, Doubletree. It is going to be off the hook, man. 40 plus speakers, 1,000 attendees. Man, we're going to have after parties and everything every night, guys. If you want to come and network, you want to learn, you want to get real information, not the stuff that you're going to learn in the book, not from the profession talk, but real people who are out in the streets really doing this Canna game are going to come and teach you guys firsthand, ladies and gentlemen. I go and I reach out to all my friends, all my buddies, and everybody I can in the Canna game to get them to come and get down at RealCannaEntrepreneur.com. That's right, RealCannabisEntrepreneur.com. And let me put it up on the screen right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the short link, RealCanna23.com, RealCanna23, Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference, baby. October 5th and 6th. We're just going to do a couple of announcements, ladies and gentlemen. Then we're going to get right into Dr. David. I know y'all waiting. We got to learn how to raise this capital. We got to learn how to put together these pitch decks. We got to learn how to really impress the investors or attract investors to us. That's one of the reasons why I put that bullet point on there, right? When you got something good, it's about attracting them to you, right? When you're really doing a great job. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, man. But before we do that, a couple of announcements real quick, ladies and gentlemen, while everybody else comes in. You might see us streaming on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all those other ones. You guys can chat there and I can see your chats, guys. I can see your chats there. So everybody in the chat, get busy in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. You know how we do, Real Cannabis Entrepreneur. This is not like everybody else. We want to make sure that you guys promote yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Promote yourselves. So everybody get on here and let us know what you do. Put your website up, throw it up. Guy Tano in the building. Guy Tano's in the building. What's up? Valerie's in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta put your name in when you log into the platform to ask you for your name. If you don't do it, I don't get to see your name. So like my man who said, hey, everyone, and it says, yo, I don't know. It says your name is Hey Everyone. So if you can just go back in, make sure that you got your name up so I can shout you out, man. Big up to you, David H. in the building. Guys, hit up the chat. Let me know you're alive, man. Before I can bring out Dr. David, I can't bring him out unless it's warm on the stage. It's got to get warm, baby. Let's go, Donna in the building. Let's go, Donna. Let's go, Donna. Come on, it's almost conference time. October 5th and 6th, ladies and gentlemen. North New Jersey, get ready. Marion in the building. What's up, Marion? What's up? Dan, Hetty and Jay, my man. Dan, Hetty and Jay in the building. Always doing it big. That's right. If you want great news, go to HettyandJ.com. Been one of our guys from down with us from day one. Hetty and Jay. Big up to my man, Dan. Big up. New Jersey, making it happen. Manny from Canna Matrix and National Cannabis Research. What's up, Manny? That's what I'm talking about, Manny. Throw it up, man. Come on, guys. Throw your shot. You got to let us know what company you're from. Just don't put your name and say hello. Let us know what you do. Throw your website up, man. Get some traffic from this. I'm a marketer. You know I love this thing. Get this marketing going. Let's go. All right, so Valerie in the building. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got a couple of announcements, then we're going to get going. How's my level? How's my volume, ladies and gentlemen? How do I sound out there, man? Is my music too loud? We good? All right, we're good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, going to do a quick little intro real quick, right? And then we're going to jump into Dr. David so he can really give us the goodies on all of the good stuff, man, about how to raise capital. But again, my name is Gary George, RealCannabisEntrepreneur.com. My wife and I started this thing back in 2017, 18, and in the beginning it was only 8 of us in our mastermind group. Dr. David was one of the originals. We've now grown our private mastermind group to over 172 cannabis professionals all over the nation. I'm going to tell you guys some more about that. But conference, how we started it. We wanted to make sure that everybody got real information, not that info that, you know, you go and everybody's talking about their dog and their cat and how much money they made. But nobody's really giving the info about how they did it. And that's why we created RealCannabisEntrepreneur.com, RealCannabisEntrepreneur.com, where you can get 40 plus speakers that are going to come and teach you the exact blueprint of what they did. Not that old run-of-the-mill, okey-doke, not a bunch of panels talking about the surface that you don't really get a bunch of takeaways. I'm talking about real deep dives. and real secrets that are being shared, stuff that you cannot find, stuff that you cannot Google. It is ungoogleable, ladies and gentlemen. Ungoogleable information that you're going to get at our conference, and we only reveal it there. And you have to be in the building to get that info. So go there, ladies and gentlemen, realcannabisentrepreneur.com, realcanna23.com. You can hit up either one of those, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me get my sounds right. Let me get my sounds right. All right, last announcement, then we're going to get going. I told you guys a little bit about our, oh, wait a minute, I didn't give you guys a coupon code. Because you guys are hanging out with me, let's get that $20 off coupon code. Everybody that's here in the webinar, because you guys showed up, man, $20 off right now. Right now, that 50% sale is ending. I think it's ended or ended tonight. But if you get that 20 off, you can get $79 tickets right now. 2 days, that's only like $35 a day, man. If you're serious about networking and growing your business, you can't spend $35 a day to get it on. You need to quit, resign, and right off in the sunset. All right, here we go. $20 off coupon, realcanna23.com. The code is WebinarFam20 off. WebinarFam20 off. Ladies and gentlemen, put that in when you're checking out on Eventbrite. You will get an additional $20 off, my friend, off our already phenomenally cheap tickets. All right, let me finish my last shout-outs. And I'm going to do one more announcement, then we going in. All right, I got Tom Spooner in the house, baby. Dispensary Pro Grade. Cashless ATMs. You're going to see him on our webinars. Coming up in the next few weeks, Tom Spooner's in the building. You guys need to hit him up if you need those cashless ATMs. You already heard what's going on with MasterCard. It's going down. You need to holler at Tom. Right now, he's in the chat right now. Tom Spooner, Valerie, Tara G. What's up? Supreme Green Organics. Big up to you, Tara G. Christopher A. from Canna Mountain and National Cannabis Research. Christopher, what's up to you? And Marianne Bays. My company is Northeast Corridor Provisions, a contract cannabis manufacturing business. All right, I like that, Marianne. I'm from the shore, and our train corridor is called Northeast Corridor, so you must be from down my way. Let's go. Represent Asbury, Neptune. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. If you guys would like to join our actually private mastermind group, I'm gonna let me just do it right now because I'm gonna probably forget. Once again, this is the last one, and we're going right into Dr. David. All right, guys, you heard me talk about this on stage all the time. Our private mastermind group. This is the place where we share business ideas, information, secrets, and everything else that you can get ungoogleable. And we're sharing it. We got 172 cannabis professionals in our cannabis mastermind, our private group. It is a private group that we started with about 8 individuals. Dr. David, Kim B, Chef Jazz, a lot of the other individuals you're going to see on stage. And now it has grown to over 170 something members all over the world, including eight different countries. Yep, and I see you, Dr. David. I see you, buddy. Yes, sir. 8 different countries, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to join the private cannabis mastermind group, we only open up applications once or twice a year, once basically during the conference. So, this is that time, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get into the mastermind group, you've been on the waiting list for some time. You need to get back in there and fill that out right now. realcannabisentrepreneur.com/mastermind. It is realcannabisentrepreneur.com/mastermind, guys. Go there to get in apply to see if you can qualify for the cannabis mastermind group. It's not for everybody, but those who do qualify, you will go through a qualification interview with myself and some other people on our team to ensure that everything is Irie, ladies and gentlemen. It's Irie. All right, John DeMeo is in the building. Chris Vaglio is in the building. COO of UCS Advisors. Chris is in the building. That's right. Tom Spooner's in the building. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Neil's in the building. It's hot down here today. I'm sweating already. It's summertime, baby. What's up, Neil? Lion's share in the building, baby. Let's go. Neil's in the building. All space, let's go. Down in the building, cultivate peace. That's right, everybody, throw it up. Let us know what company you're from. Just don't say hello in this chat. You know I'm a marketer, and I'm a beast of a marketer, and I'm always about promoting self-promotion. Shameless, selfless self-promotion, ladies and gentlemen, and that is how you grow businesses. Lucky Buds is in the building. Lucky Buds Cultivation and Manufacturing. Big up to you, Lucky Buds. Big up to you, Lucky Buds. Yes. All right. How do I log in? Somebody says in the chat. If you want to log in, you got to get our webinar link. Our actual webinar link to get into the chat, all right? And then to get into the sign-in. Otherwise, you can watch it on social media, guys. If you catch it on social media as well, you can just do that. You can do that as well, my friend. And you can catch it there. All right, I'm going to put that link just so you say you didn't know where you can see it online. Boom, there you go. Put it in the chat. So check your chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you also are on any of the social media platforms and want to switch over to our regular webinar platform, just hit that link in the chat right there. Right here. All right. David H. He's an independent marketing license application consultant based in New Jersey. PineAdvisors.com. Big up to you, David H. Big up to you. That's right. Promote yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy. This is not that kind of game here, man. This is all about doing it big. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is now 12:10. We got to bring on our guest, our special guest, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest. And I think we got to bring some smoke. Do we need to bring some smoke out for him? I think we need to bring some smoke out for him. I haven't brought the smoke out in a while, y'all. We got to bring the smoke out for my man, Dr. David, though, because he know he going to bring that fire. He going to bring that fire, baby. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Everybody throw the D's in the chat. Throw the D's in the chat. Everybody throw those D's in the chat right now. Throw the D's in the chat. If you want to see Dr. David, I need to see enough D's in the chat before we can bring them out, ladies and gentlemen. Let them know that you're in the building. Let them know and show them some love. Throw the D's in the chat. And as soon as I see some D's, I'm going to bring them out. Okay, we're starting to flow in. Here we go, Dr. David, starting to flow in, baby. Throw the D's in the chat. Let's go, baby. Let's throw the D's in the chat. Cherie, Manny, let's go. David, let's go. All right, big up. Y'all getting hype. I like that. Valerie, yes, let's go. D. Let's go. Lucky Buzz, big. Cherie, yes. Let's get it. All right, I like y'all now. Y'all are hype now. Y'all hyping up. Okay, I got to bring them out now. Y'all hyping up. Let's go. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, bring it to the stage. My man, from back in the beginning of this whole thing, Dr. David Koenig, man, UCS Advisors, man, the one who's going to tell you how to get capital, how to sharpen your pitch, how to do everything in this industry, man. He's one of the guys that travels all over and does more shows than anybody else that I know. He's got more connections to the plugs than anybody else I know in terms of the finance space, baby. So you need to know this man, and he needs to share some great information. So without further ado, gentlemen, give it up for my man, Dr. David.
How you doing, everyone? Gary, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can. I'm going to turn my music down a little bit.
All right.
We going crazy in here. You know how we got to get them amped, man.
I hear you, man. And then I don't know if you can give me access to chatting, but I can't chat in the group. So, Chris Vagler, if you're there, man.
Oh, okay.
Throw out my email, Chris.
Hold
and
on,
then everyone has it. And Gary, thank you so much for letting me be here today. I really do appreciate it, my friend.
Yes, man. Yes, I'm gonna make sure that you can get to the chat as well here, Dr. David. Let's make sure that your slides are also working okay. Did you load them up on your end? I don't see them on your end.
Am I doing a screen share?
Oh, no, actually, I do see them. Yeah, I see it. Boom. Yes, we're there. All right, we're going to hide it for now. We got that working. That's good to go. So now you just say you can't chat. So let me see. I don't know what that would be. I don't think I have any setting for that, man. Might be the browser you're on. What browser you on? Chrome?
Edge.
Safari? Edge. That's probably the problem. Yeah.
Well, you know what, everyone? Guess what? I got. Luckily, I got my COO Chris Vaglio here. So Chris, throw everyone there you go, Chris. I just saw you plugged it. So perfect. So I'm stoked to be here today. I am in Las Vegas. It is 9:15 in the morning. I was out networking last night, but listen, I called in early and I knew how important today was. And Gary, the very first thing we're going to address when we get rocking and rolling is this limiting belief. That was not PMA, baby, this morning when I told these tight capital markets. That's one of the biggest myths we have right now about cannabis. It's actually about making sure you bring your A game. So, my friend, whenever you want to get rock and roll, we're going to get this party started. I got my coffee. I got my PMA ready to go. Yes.
He's got his Dr. David out there in Vegas getting it in, doing it big, early morning action, right? He's still coming in to make sure that we get it in. But guys, I'm telling you, you're gonna see him on stage, and he's gonna get. He always gets everybody super hyped. He's the PMA man, right? Besides getting the mental, you got to get your mind right in order to get the money right first. So he does a lot of that talk as well, man. But we're gonna dive into some nitty gritty about how to raise that capital, how to sharpen up your pitch, how to attract investors, how to talk to investors, what they really want to see. These are very important things. Dr. David talks to tons of these investors and represents tons of different entities on both sides, the investors and investees. So he understands exactly what the language and what people's hot buttons are. That's what the way it is when it comes to selling, period, right? Sales is all about understanding who you're selling to. Marketing is all about understanding who you are marketing to. Once I have that information, then I can get very intelligent in my language and my positioning and everything else so that I can speak your language and attract you more clearly. So Dr. David's going to do a bit of that for us today, ladies and gentlemen, to show you how to talk investor talk, baby, how to get the bread, right? And how to make sure that the investors are excited, just as excited about your project, and see that it is a viable, solid solution. So without further ado, my man, Dr. David Koenig, go ahead, man, and take it over from here. I'm going to throw up your slides. All right. You can rock and roll, and I think you could control everything from that end, but let me know if you can, and I'll adjust.
No, we got this. This is perfect, Gary. Awesome. Yes. And you know what? as I said, I'm gonna rely on my buddy Chris, my COO Chris Valio, to throw little things here and there. Chris is throwing my LinkedIn right off the bat. So you know what, Gary, let's get this
Hey,
right. Start finding
real quick, Dr. David. Change your view to display or whatever that is in PDF, whatever, where it would be full screen, because I can see all of the other stuff, so we can possibly make it a little bigger. All right. It's like view. I think it's down. Where the heck is it? Yeah, read mode, full screen mode. No, that'll knock you out. Put in read mode down there, down in read mode.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, beautiful, nice and big. Everybody can see it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You guys got to see this info. Make sure you guys get your tickets, man. October 5th and 6th, Dr. David's going to tear it down on the stage, and he's going to get it hype, and he's going to deliver a lot more information than you're going to see today. This is just a teaser to how much additional information that you are going to get at this conference, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead, Dr. David. Looking good, man. Looking pretty over there now.
All right. Well, you know what? Y'all can see me, but I can't see you right now, Gary.
Because I put you in read mode. Probably that. Yeah. See if you could. But I don't think you need to see me.
All right, man. If you want to do it that way, Gary, listen, it's your show, man. If you want, I'll go full screen on this.
Go full screen, man. You don't even need to see. We can see you, and we gonna rock and roll, man.
All right, so let's get rocking right into it. So, and I apologize for the questions.
And you guys, audience, let me know if the how's our audio, right? Because I know some people, they hear it louder, some people hear it lower, right? I want to make sure that everybody's got a good level. If it's too loud, let me know in the chat. Let me know if I need to turn the audio down a little bit or whatever, or if it's good, let me know. All right, we got more people chiming in. Big up to y'all still coming in the stream, man. Big up. All right, we're about to get it on. Dr. David is about to present here. With all of the goodness, guys. So you see Chris is up here plugging all his different URLs in the chat as well. So all the contact information and everything is there. You're going to also see me throw some up on the screen there. Dr. David Kuhn, UCSGreatness.com if you want to contact him. All right, UCSGreatness.com. Right here.
So Gary, are we sharing now? Are we back up?
Oh, what happened? Yeah, it went off screen. My bad. Yeah. All right. You know, it's showing your whole screen. That's what's going on, Dr. David. So
Gary, you want me to just do the whole screen, and so people just can't see me? Just do it that way. Is that what you want?
Yeah, because we can still see you when you were full screen. I can still see you. Yeah, go full screen. Go back to that view, and we can see you. You just can't see us. It's just taking over your screen. Yep.
All right. Is that what you want, Gary? Gary, if that's what you want, that's what we'll do for you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, do it. Rock it like that. Rock it like that. It looks good. In that read only mode or full screen mode or whatever one. Yeah, there you go.
Here we go. Let's get this rock and rolling, my friend.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So with that being said, everyone, I'm Dr. David. Let's turn down the music a little bit. Let's get rock and rolling on this.
Let's do it. All right, we ready, man.
All right, so everyone, first and foremost, thank you for being here. Listen, we're going to keep everything on time. If you have your questions, throw them in the chat. We'll address everything at the end. I'm going to move a little quick, so I apologize now. So Gary said in the very beginning, oh, hey, there's no money out there. There's no money in the markets. That's total and 100% BS. That is not the case whatsoever. There's money out there, but it's an investor's market. What does that mean? That means the following. It means that if you don't have your A game, you don't know, if you don't have all your information done ahead of time, what's going to happen? You're not going to get money. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to go over the top 4 mistakes that people make. So if you're still with me, you can see me, you can hear me, just give me a quick thumbs up in the chat. All right. Really quick, what's UCS? At the end of the day, this company has been around since 2017. We teach and empower business owners with the proper fundraising and networking skills. In other words, we pretty much show you the roadmap on how simplistic it is to raise capital when the banks aren't an option. And that's really, really important for you to know. If banks are not an option at all, how are you going to go raise money? And that's what we're going to talk about today. But something as a medical guy by trade, people always ask, all right, why should I listen to this guy here? why should I sit here and say, okay, who's this Dr. David? Who's this guy whipping out a PMA pin who's in the middle of Las Vegas right now? Pretty much in a nutshell, I've been in this industry since 2001. People say, oh my God, 2001, you must have been doing something black market. No, I started my career back in the state of Maine. In the state of Maine, actually started cannabis all the way back in 1999. We were the third state to actually get medical cannabis. So with that being said, I'm also proud to say I've been on several boards in Maine, New Jersey, and Nevada. People ask all the time, well, Dr. David, is UCS just some company that gets you ready to raise capital, but you don't actually give the money? This is where we're different. We're a two-headed dragon. I'm an investor myself. Proud to say in the second quarter, I actually invested in 6 different cannabis companies. That's right, not 1, not 2, but 6. People say the market's dead. It's not. Just you have to bring your A game, and you have to make sure that you're coming correct and you have your house in order. I cannot stress that enough. Also, I'm very proud to say that my company, UCS Advisors, we voted one of the top 10 companies for investor relations in the United States last year. The other good thing about us, and you'll see who right there, Tommy Chong, out in Las Vegas, that's I think about maybe 2 years ago, is not only do we help companies raise money, but we also represent a bunch of investors. On top of that, too, we also teach individuals how to diversify their portfolio, how to take everyday people and say, hey, there are opportunities out there for you. And last but not least, people ask, well, what's your track record? Let's just talk about the last 90 days. That's right. Let's talk about the last 3 months. In the last 3 months, we've actually helped 11 companies. That's right, 11 companies. We helped those 11 companies have PMA. We've helped them secure capital. But what you don't see is this. They all did the work. They all made sure they had their proper pro forma, their proper investment materials, their exit strategies. They had everything planned ahead of time. I cannot stress that enough. And last but not least, what you don't see is a lot of times people say, oh, you have all the success, but I got in this game early. I lost over $3 million of my own money. That's right, of my own money. I'm not going to talk about the amount of money that I've taken from investors when I had a cannabis company out in Portland, Oregon, and we went bankrupt. That cost investors a lot of money. So when people say, oh, you don't get how tough it is, nah. That's not the situation at all. If anything, like I said, I've lost $3 million of my own money. I've had a cannabis company go bankrupt. I know how tough it is firsthand. Let's focus on this. When you're raising money, you hear us talk about PMA, positive mental attitude. And you have to have a positive mental attitude when you're out raising money. Because if you don't have that positive mental attitude, I'm going to tell you right now, you can get beaten up, you can get washed out to sea, you're going to get eaten up by the sharks. You got to maintain that positive mental attitude. Something that we actually have at UCS Advisors, we actually have a power group that literally talks about maintaining that positive mental attitude. If you're part of Gary George's power group, Gary does a great job talking about every aspect of cannabis. Something we do here at UCS Advisors, we talk about that positive mental attitude and giving green nuggets of information. So let's talk about a quick reality check here, people. Let's talk about really the situation at hand. And the situation at hand here is the following. Gary's still there?
Oh, yep, I'm here. Sorry, man. I'm over here multitasking, doing a bunch of crap. But yes, everybody's chiming in and they're listening. They have some questions that they're shooting to me. So I'm gonna jot them all down. Wait until you get to the end.
Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to wait till the end, Gary?
No. So just some people hit me with some questions, but I'm not gonna interrupt you. I'm gonna wait till the end and I'm gonna write them all down for you.
Okay, great. So all right, view. Let's go back to read mode.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So reality check here. 1 in 300 companies, technically speaking, will be a success. That's just reality. That's not cannabis. That's just pure reality for any business. Now people say, oh, if I can get venture capitalist money or I can get hedge fund money, I'm going to make it no matter what. Well, reality check is 80% of businesses backed by venture capitalist or hedge fund actually go out of business within 10 years. 80%. Yeah, exactly, Gary.
Good
People are like,
gracious.
damn.
Man.
Like, wow, I had no idea. That's why venture capitalists are such vultures. Because they know 80% of the time their shit ain't gonna work out.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you got to be in order to make money. You got to be that way in order to make money on the flip flop. If you're going to take those type of risks, right? You got to make it the scales have to balance out. That's why the VC firms are always looking for what they call the unicorns, right? They want those Ubers. Exactly. They want the lifts, the ones that are going to get them 100, 300% return that's just going to smash it out the park. 3,000%. I mean, they go nuts with those percentages, but go ahead, man. Yeah.
Exactly. So now let's take it another step further. People say, oh, Dr. David, what's the key to make sure my business is a success? It's execution 9 times plus 1 idea. That's right. Execution 9 times. So it might take you maybe 8 other businesses on trying to execute before you actually have a success. If you've done it before and you learn from your mistakes, it's execution times 6. How are you going to do it 3 times and 1 idea? But let's take it another step further and let's go over the last 2 parts right here. Then let's jump right into things. Here's a reality check. Right now, since the year 2005, 90%, or actually over 90% of all cannabis businesses around the United States of America have gone out of business within 5 years. So that's why when people say, oh my God, there's no money. No, there's money out there. Just, I hate to tell you this, it's 2023. It ain't 2010. It ain't 2000 right. Where, oh, hey, I have an idea. Show me the money. No, it's not like that anymore. The return on investment is not as high anymore. The level of risk, people know the knowledge about that. And the other thing is this. I'm going to tell everyone here, one of the biggest mistakes we hear all the time, people say, oh, I'm going to get acquired. Oh, yes, people are going to buy my company. Reality check. 3. That's right. 3% of all businesses get acquired. You know why? Because remember, the big MSOs are going to try to run you out of town. You got the Walmarts trying to run you out of town. You got the Home Depots trying to run you out of town. Listen, you don't want to sell to us? 3% of businesses. And here's a great story. Last night, I was networking with someone who's in agriculture. And for this person, literally, we were going over and talking about their journey over the last 4 years. And they go, you know what? One of the biggest mistakes I made was I signed a letter of intent with an exclusive where I couldn't negotiate with anyone else for 6 months. What they did was after the 6 months, 1 week later, they took half our contracts that we had coming in. So our business went from here to here so they can buy us for pennies on the dollar. If we accept their offer, they're going to bankrupt us. But you remember, this is why you got to have PMA. All right.
Yeah, that's a good lesson, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you listened up to what Dr. David just said. He said some really interesting stuff about how people can come in and offer you things and with some alternative motives and, pretty much position you to buy your company for pennies on the dollar. You see that happening all the time. I see that happening where people position, they do things to the other company and they make it devalue the company so that they can. That just happened with some other big company. I think it was somebody else just happened. And he just got big, huge devaluation and they lost a bunch of their, capital because there was something that happened within the business. But yeah, it's all about timing. And it's all about making sure you structure things properly.
It is. It's about timing. And also, too, where this is where, sometimes as a business owner, you need to go and you need to expand your outreach and talk to other people who've been in other industries because listen, when it comes to growing, yeah. When it comes to dealing with 280E, yeah, cannabis is different. But when it comes to actually business, starting a company, raising money for a company, and trying to get to the point where you can sell the company or get acquired. Listen, it's all the same. It's industry agnostic. So with that being said, the very top mistake made, we see all the time in cannabis is this. You're caught up in your valuation. People say, oh, I'm worth so much money. And we go, really, you are? You have no intellectual property. You have no trademarks. You're not doing anything different than someone else. So why is your company worth 500% more than your competitors? Why? How can you back that up? And there's a really simple way. If you got something unique and different, go pay a third-party company such as Century Consulting. They do a lot of work in cannabis. They'll actually be out here in Vegas this week to go get a third-party evaluation done on your company. You get that done, okay, now people will give you a little bit more clout. The other thing is this is too, who knows what's happening over in Ukraine right now? Who knows what's happening right now in China? Who knows what's happening with digital currency? All that affects the valuation of your company. And I have here written here Bitcoin. If you've heard of Bitcoin, write in the chat right now BTC. If you've heard of Bitcoin, write BTC in the chat room. You're still with me.
BTC to the moon.
if you know Bitcoin, I'm going to tell you right now. Does Bitcoin go up and down every day? Hell yeah, it does. Does Bitcoin go up and down every hour? Hell yeah, it does. That means your valuation changes all the time. But I think one of the biggest jokes is in this cannabis industry is people say, oh, my valuation is this. And I go, great. What was the date of your valuation? Oh, that was my valuation 5 months ago. That valuation isn't very accurate anymore. So don't get caught up in your valuation. I'm going to tell you right now. And especially if you're raising a decent amount of capital, I mean 10 million plus, your valuation is going to change all the time. The second biggest mistake we see here when it comes to raising capital is this. You have no clear path for return on investments. That's right, no clear path. Do not.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Do not be this person. And Chris, if you're there, can you throw in the UCS investor quiz link in the chat? I'm going to tell everyone right now. There is on our UCSgreatness.com website, we have a free investor quiz. It's free. If you are ready to raise money, it takes you 2 minutes. And one of our questions is, do you have a clear path for return on investment for the investors? If the answer is no, you need help. You can't sit and say, oh, well, we're going to get acquired one day. Well, what if you don't? What happens then? Oh, I'm going to give you 20% equity in my company. Great. As the investor, when do I start to get paid out of my equity? These are very basic questions. And if you are not in cannabis, if you're in real estate, you know how to answer this. You're going to open up maybe a McDonald's or a Dunkin' Donuts, a franchise. They show you a clear path and how you can get your return on investments. You're going to invest some money into some multifamily homes. Clear path return on investment. Here's a great example. Myself, I'm an investor in a cannabis company in Michigan. They're expanding to New Jersey. They tell every investor there's 3 ways to get your money back. One of them is dividends. That's right, dividends. You know how many people we get here at UCS Advisors? And I look at their numbers and I go, oh my God, you're going to make this much money in the next 3 to 4 years? And they go, yeah, we're going to do really, really well, Dr. David at UCS Advisors. I go, great. As an investor myself, you're going to make all this money, but you're going to pay me 8% interest. That's it. But you're going to make maybe $30 million over the next 4 years. But you're going to pay me 8% interest. That's not going to get me interested. That's not going to get me want to invest in your company. If anything, it shows that you're being greedy. It means that you don't have a clear path for me. So one of the biggest mistakes is this. Make sure you have a clear path for your return on investment for investors. On top of that, too, you can always put some clauses in there saying, hey, if we hit certain parameters, we're going to give you a higher return. Okay. And I have here fishing. What type of fish are you going after? Raising money is like fishing. If you're going after a large shark, you're not going to be successful all the time. Then a large shark is maybe, hey, you're raising $20 million. Minimum investment's $5 million. Versus maybe going after some sunnies in a stocked pond, or maybe going bass fishing in a lake that's a ton of bass that gets stocked. And that's maybe going after investor, maybe that gives you 50 grand or 100 grand. What kind of investor are you going after?
Yeah, man. Good stuff, Doc Dave. I want to reiterate some things in terms of some of the things that he said, y'all, that you want to take pull attention to. Doc Dave, could you go back to that slide for me again? I just got to jog my memory real fast. But yeah, no clear path for ROI, return on investment. That's the number one thing, right? When you're selling. What are you selling? When you're selling anything, you're selling the result to the other person of that what they're going to experience. And in investment, it's all about the return. So I see so many decks that go so far into explaining how great the solution they have is, but very little is left to a straight path for the return, which is the most important thing for every investor. And in terms of the percentages and understanding what are the right ones to what percentages are fair and not fair, those are the things you got to talk with Dr. David. You got to come to the conference and see, guys, because there are certain things that I'm also seeing in everybody's pitch decks that they don't have an understanding. Like you said, if you're going to give me 8% back on my money and I'm an investor and I'm used to it, I'm saying, wait, annual inflation alone is going to eat up 10%. If I'm not making 10%, what am I going to get interested in your money for? I could go and get the most safest investment I could possibly can, some bonds or whatever, and almost damn near get that. And why would I invest in something risky where you're only giving me such a small return? It has to make dollars and cents for that investor to understand, hey, I'm taking this big risk, so I have to be rewarded with a big reward, right?
And Gary, take it to the next level here. It's not only just about the money, it's also about peace of mind. One of the biggest things we tell people is this: why don't you throw a personal guarantee on it? People are like, what do you mean? Why would I throw a personal guarantee? And I go, look at this realistically speaking here. If you're going to take money from someone and it's going to take maybe, and you're offering 2 or 3 years return, if you don't have confidence in your pro forma, then you know what? Why are you taking someone else's money? Why are you going to let someone else take the risk? And on top of that too, like I'm going to tell you right now, especially in cannabis, there are 3 small family wealth offices in cannabis solely. And I'm not going to say their names because a lot of people know who they are. The very first question they ask you is this: how much money have you raised from friends and family? That's it. And if you haven't raised at least $250,000 from friends and family, they won't even look at you. That's right. They won't even look at you because they want to make sure that, hey, your friends and family believe in you. And then let's take another step further. And I think Chris has threw something in the chat. Part of having of avoiding these top 4 mistakes is also presenting well. One thing we do here at UCS Advisors, we bring in specialists to talk about it. Actually, tomorrow, Wednesday, we actually have a professional speaker that teaches you how to get the most out of your conference, attending conferences. So if you're going to the Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference, which is October 5th and 6th, right, Gary?
Yes, it is October 5th and 6th.
You want to sit here and take the free class tomorrow on how to get the most out of your conference, how to present your best foot forward. Something that people forget is that this goes to the next screen. You have to have your house in order. Part of having your house in order is knowing how to present properly. Make sure you're getting the most out of your conferences. We have NECAN, Atlantic City, happening first weekend of September. We have Benzinga, Chicago, happening the last week of September. Literally, for Gary's event, October 5th and 6th, Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference, that will be my 5th conference in 4 weeks that I'm going to speaking at. All right.
Nice,
that's
man.
People just don't realize. You got to make sure you have your house in order. And part of that house in order is also knowing how to present properly. But let's talk about this documentation. On the earlier slide, I literally said this to everyone right here. In the last 90 days, we've helped secure over 11 companies secure capital, but each of these companies did over 7 weeks of prep work. They did over 7 weeks of making sure their house was in order. We told them, you are not allowed to raise any money whatsoever. Every investor says, I want to give you money. We tell them, no. Hey, we'll get back to you in the next 4 to 5 weeks. We are just finishing up a few things on our end. It's better for you to tell an investor, we're not ready yet, than to tell an investor, oh, yes, I am ready. And then to do it half-ass. Mm-hmm. And here's a great example.
Definitely.
Right here, the third bullet point, what's your offering? One of the biggest mistakes, and it happened this literally happened on Friday afternoon. UCS, we have a client. They said, we can't raise any money. We go, oh, you only need $1.2 million. We call that LinkedIn money. You get your house in order. You can find that on LinkedIn. I go, what's your offering? I got someone who's willing to give you $100,000 for your idea right now. They go, we don't have one. We'll let the investor tell us. No. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't have a clear, concise offering. They go, oh, well, Dr. David and UCS Advisors, I don't want to sit here and forget or maybe lose a potential investor because I don't want to pigeonhole myself. And that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make is by not having an initial offering. And if you go to the ucsquiz.com, that's one of our questions. Do you have an offering? Here's a great example. You're going to go to the Real Campus Entrepreneur Conference October 5th. You meet a potential investor. Oh, hey, you know what? I'll give you a $25,000 flyer on your company. Email me the paperwork right now from your lawyer. And you're going to say, oh, I don't have it done yet. As an investor, you're going to say, next.
Right.
This is where I say right here in the bottoms, over 7 weeks of prep work. When we work with people here at UCS Advisors and they do our 10-hour package, the biggest thing we spend the most amount of time on is figuring out what your offering is. And shh, here's a little secret. We usually tell all our clients to have more than one offering. Remember, it's like fishing, right?
Exactly.
Here, as we said, the fishing analogy. So here's a great example. You need $3 million for your company. Why don't you do minimum investment, $75,000? Take it on as debts. And anyone that wants to give you more than, let's say, $300,000, they can get equity in your company. And you show them how they're going to get their return on investments. Now you're fishing for the sharks and you're fishing for the little minnows as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
But another step further. Gary, you said once again, the very beginning, when I couldn't chat in on this, which was getting me upset, like, the capital markets are tight. No, that is total BS.
He had to start it with that. He said no. He had to start it and shut it down and make sure everybody knows it's not. That's not the case.
Right here. Are you lazy if your investment package? Once again, and I'm going to say it again, go to the ucsquiz.com. See if you are ready to raise money. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when people fail this quiz, it's because you're lazy. That's it. I'm going to tell you right now.
That's right. Lean on him, Dr. David.
You'll spend time going to town hall meetings. You'll spend time nonstop all the time about, hey, I got to get ready. But when it comes to raising money, this is too much work. I don't want to have 3 pitch decks. I can't believe they're asking more investor questions. It's called laziness. And I'm going to tell you right now, our clients who have nothing to do with cannabis are the least laziest when it comes to raising money. And here's the reason why. You only need a couple $100,000 that's easy money to raise. You need a couple million that's easy to raise. And here comes a nice, fun little fact. And this is what I love when people do this. Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I need to raise over $15 million, but I don't have an investor data room. I don't have competitors analysis. I don't have a third-party valuation. I don't have anything, but just give me the money. That's total BS. That's just called laziness. And investors are like, whoa. There's a really, really high level of risk here. So let's go on to the next one, because I know we're on time, and I want to make sure we get this. Now, does your deck tell a story? Yeah, that's right. Does your deck tell a story? That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. People say, "Oh, well, I got to present my deck to you." No, my friend. No es bueno. No es bueno at all. 90% of the time, you're never going to present your deck to an investor. That's right. You know why? Because we get decks all the time. And Gary, you know the answer to this question. Chris, you know the answer to this question. Don't say anything. Right now in 2023, please type in how many pitch decks you think, as an investor myself, I've received just in cannabis alone this year to review. Throw it in the chat. Gary, throw out some numbers because I can't see what people are writing.
Yep. Throw it up, y'all. Let's guess and see how many cannabis pitch decks from different cannabis businesses that Dr. David has come across his desk, man, in just 2023. That's 2023. David H says 700. 700 bad boys. Lucky Buzz said 120. Dan says 90. David H said, I was tempted to say over 9,000. God, it's going crazy, right? Valerie says
it's going crazy, right? So here's some perspective. In 2022, in cannabis alone, I received, as an investor, over 500 decks. 500.
Hey, good.
Out of those 500, 90% of them, actually, I think the exact one was 93%, Didn't even get past our first go around. Within 5 pages, we knew next there was an error or something wrong with the deck. Which they didn't have. Maybe they didn't have their offering done. Maybe they didn't have an investor data room done. Maybe they didn't tell us what the minimum was right off the bat. I don't have time for this.
Right.
Now, here in 2023, it's been interesting. Right now, we're actually on pace to beat that. As of right now, we're at approximately 320 decks already we've received. That's almost 2 per day.
Gracious. Good
All right?
gracious.
And I'll tell you right now, over 95% of them haven't gone past our official look at it. You know why? Because they don't have their house in order. They don't have their offering done. They don't have the proper objective data to back up their story. They're lazy with their investment package. And for us, we know there's over 90%, which I said before, 90% failure rate within 5 years. I don't got time for that. So make sure your house is in order. Make sure you have your clear path for ROI. And here we go. Really simplistic. Does your deck tell a story? Everyone here, if you have a pitch deck, give it to a family member, to your best friend. Don't say a word. Just give it to them and literally say, hey, when you're done reading it, can I call you in an hour or can I call you in a half hour? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Question number 1, what does my business do? Question number 2, what's my minimum investment and how am I paying you back? And question number 3 is, what's my 5-year goal for my company? If they can't answer that just from your deck, then you're not ready. Once again, go to ucsquiz.com, check that out. All right. The other thing is too, is that don't be lazy. As we said, don't be lazy with your investment package. You know, people are like, oh, Dr. David and UCS, I don't want 3 versions of my deck. Well, why not? When I go fishing for sharks, I'm not going to sit here and use a little lure. I'm not going to sit here and use a little like a little worm. No, like I'm going to use a different type of bait. Versus, hey, I'm going after friends and family, people that know me. All right. I'm going to have a different deck for that. Hey, if I'm going after smaller amounts of money, Gary, I'm going to tell you right now, you know how many people who I know who have invested in deals? Remember, we represent over 800 individuals. You know how many people invest 25, 50 grand like this? They've never talked to the owner of the company. They never reviewed a pro forma. They just looked at the executive summary and they looked at the deck. And here's a great example. Know the pond you're fishing in. MJ Unpacked for Sneakan. Sneakan, you know, they just had one up in Augusta, Maine. You know what? Those type of individuals, they're smaller investors. You want a deck that's going to cater to that. MJ Unpacked deals with venture capitalists, hedge funds, high net worth individuals. You might have a completely different deck for that. Now, with all that being said, because I want to make sure we get to questions, the number 1 rule to follow is this. It's okay to ask for help. Get help from someone that actually has fundraising experience, that's actually invested in this industry. I cannot stress enough how many bullshit, and I'm going to curse because it pisses me off, Gary, bullshit consultants are in this industry.
For real.
I've been
For real.
I see people say, oh, I'm this great consultant. I've been on the phone with other consultants and had consultants yell at their clients and hang up the phone when I'm like, hey, how many cannabis companies have you invested that are not publicly traded? Oh, none. Okay, great. How many cannabis companies have you helped raise capital in the last year to 2 years? None. But I'm going to listen to you. I know everyone's got to get their start somewhere, but put your money where your mouth is. And the other thing is too is that the other mistake is this. Your business plan is not investor relations. I told you how I got over 300 decks, right, Gary, so far this year?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Do you know one reason why people don't pass their first round of testing or first round, let's see if they're even ready to even look further? Because they sent us their business plan, not their investor deck. You're sending me a 50-page business plan. I didn't ask for your business plan. I asked for your investment plan. I don't want to go through all. If I like what you said in your investor deck, yeah, then I'll ask you for your business plan. But there's a big difference between that. And I'll tell you right now, people say, oh, you know, I want free. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. That's total BS. We have clients who give up Starbucks for a quarter so they can afford help. We literally, I'm going to tell you right now, There's this beautiful thing called a pawn shop or Facebook Marketplace. We have a client in New Jersey, in Patterson, and this woman's like, I can't really afford you. We're like, listen, we'll break up payments. She's like, you know what? I got a bunch of stuff in my apartment I don't use. And she went on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and she sold a bunch of extra things she just doesn't use. Next thing you know, she made $8,000 in less than 45 days. But for her, it was great because she's like, I know I need help and there's stuff I'm not using. And what's really interesting, and this is what I find, and here at UCS Advisors, and we've had special speakers in our power group talk about this. A lot of times we have things we just don't use. Sell it, donate it, do something. You know what? A lot of services are affordable, but how bad do you want it? Okay. If you're going to ask a stranger to give you money, how committed are you? So with that being said, everyone take out your phone. You heard me say it before. Do you think you're ready to talk to investors? Gary, do you think you're ready to talk to investors? Does anyone here think they're ready to talk to investors?
Oh yeah. I'm ready. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm definitely ready. Been ready, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be ready.
I cannot stress this enough. And what's interesting is that people are like, oh, this is a BS quiz. No, this actually, we have questions from this quiz that are literally also listed on probably 10 to 15 of the top other IR firms that are industry agnostic around the country. This is basic 101, people. If you can't pass this quiz, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to lose opportunities. You're going to lose potential investors. People say, I already went through the friends and family route, and they didn't want to give me any money. And then we look at them and they go, you weren't prepared. You didn't bring your A game. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, Gary, I appreciate all this. Let's do some Q&A.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Dr. David, didn't I tell y'all? We're not even at the conference. We're not even at the conference. This is just an intro, ladies and gentlemen. You put those D's up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put the D's up in the chat. Put the D's up right now, man. We're not even at the conference. This is just a teaser to what you're going to receive, ladies and gentlemen, and how much great information Dr. David just did a full layout for us, a full layout of everything here, y'all. So listen. Hold on real quick, Dr. David, because I know you're on a tight schedule, so I want to get all of this.
No. Gary, listen, I know you well enough. We always go 15 minutes over schedule. So I've already prepared for this ahead of time. I mean that as a compliment, my friend. I know we always go over, so.
You know we can't stop, man. We love talking about this stuff. It's contagious, and we will not stop. So you guys hear it, man. A lot of great things. I want you guys to throw up any questions that you have for Dr. David.
All right,
you got
Gary,
right here,
I see some questions, so I'm going to jump right into this, all right?
Go ahead.
All right, so right off the bat, ask them what their experience. The question is, all right, do you have examples of powerful storytelling pitch decks? Two-part answer here. The first part is yes, we do have examples. Second part is I made a mistake back in 2017, 18. I used to give that information away for free. We don't do that anymore. You know why? Because when it comes to raising money, it's not black and white. It's not cookie cutter. I'm Dr. David, and I actually have 2 doctorate degrees. Not only can I get you high as a kite being in the cannabis industry, but I can heal you with my hands. A lot of people forget I used to own the #1 rated physical therapy clinic in North Jersey. Had the contract for the New York Red Bulls, took care of New York Jet players, took care of former Olympians. Why do I bring this up? Is that when it comes to decks, it's about privacy. And some people pay a lot of money. So we actually only give examples of decks to current clients of ours. So once you become a client of ours at UCS and you need help going through it, we actually will give you several examples. The other thing is too, is that whether you're a grow, maybe you're a technology company, maybe an ancillary company, each type of deck is slightly different depending on your offering. There's also a type of deck too. Gary, I'm gonna tell you right now, we got clients that only need $500,000. That deck, that's 11 pages or less. That's easy. Versus, hey, we have a client who literally needs $22 million. They gave us literally a 16-page deck and it sucked. And I go, no, that's why no venture capital. The more money you need, the more you got to give. All right. On top of that, too, let's see. I'm looking at the question.
I got one on screen right now for you from Taronda. She says, what should be included in the investor package and data room? Good question, Taronda. What should be in that data room? You heard Dr. David mention that data room. What's in the data room? What is a data room, right? You guys are getting the good stuff. Make sure you get those tickets October 5th and 6th. We're going to share more. Go ahead.
Here's the gist of the data room. It's everything you'd want to show to an investor in the kitchen sink. But remember, it takes 8 touches. 8 touches before an investor gives you money. If you literally put on the QR code in the screen on the UCS quiz, they're going to ask you about your investor data room. But really quick, your executive summary, your investor pitch deck, your business plan. Okay. You're also going to need your pro forma. You're also going to need any permits that you already have, any licenses you have. Great example. We have a client out in the Boston area. One of the best ever investor rooms I've ever seen in my entire life when they got to us. They hired us just because they didn't know how to email investors. They didn't know how to set up a fundraising calendar. That's right, fundraising calendar, Gary. Gary, if you come to the Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference, I'll tell everyone right there what literally a fundraising calendar is. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you have a marketing calendar, you have a networking calendar, you have a conference calendar, but do you have a fundraising calendar, which most people don't? That's something you need.
Juicy.
But
that's juicy.
In your investment package, you want to have everything there and then some. And here's and literally this client up in Boston, they had every town approval, a PDF of it in their investor data room. They had every permit already in the investor data room. They had construction plans and how they're going to build out the space. Boom, in there. They had 3 different versions of their pro forma. And now remember, Gary, as I said already previously, boom, it's about 7+ weeks of prep work. Okay, you need to put in that prep work, and I cannot stress that enough. All right, what other questions we got here?
Another question is wait, somebody was just asking this, saying, Donna, who's in our mastermind group as well. She says, I'm completely unfamiliar with investments. What are the typical cannabis business investment returns? What should be? That's a good question, Donna, but there's no such answer, I don't think, in any investment world. All right, here
but
let's see what Dr. David has to say.
Yeah, we're gonna work backwards here, okay? I get asked this all the time. There's no black or white answer, all right? And when someone says, oh, your return's not good enough, ask them, okay, what kind of returns are you looking for? What kind of returns do you think you would like to see? Because then if you know your market, and you should, especially if you're running a business, you're gonna be able to talk intelligently about this. So when someone says minimum, listen, this is called spade a spade. You gotta beat inflation. So that means you gotta make over 10% per year. If you look at hard money lending in the cannabis space, literally take prime at least 5 points. I'm gonna tell you right now, as an investor myself in cannabis, if I'm gonna give you my own money and you're gonna pay me out interest, I gotta make at least 15% per year. If I don't, then it's not worth it because there are better opportunities out there.
That's good stuff. He's giving you guys good stuff, the low and down nitty gritty, guys. If you want to get more, you want to get all of this stuff that you're really going to need to create a data room for yourself, to get all of the stuff that you need to really get out there, to understand the nitty gritty, the ins and the outs, right? Dr. David's blowing over some of these things and giving you some a surface level, but there's really some more details and things that he's saying, like, things that they don't necessarily give out for free anymore, because it is something that has to be curtailed. It's specialized according to what it is that you are doing. One of the other questions that somebody had, Dr. David, it says, what percentage of this is from James. James says, what percentage of investors expect founders to have invested their own money versus raising family and friends? That's
exactly. And that's a great question. And I'm gonna, before I answer that, really quick, Donna, let's take it one step further, really quick. If someone's like, hey, I'm looking for 5 times return, 6 times return, ask them in what year, in what time frame, right? And also, ask someone when they say, oh, I'm going to invest, and this is a big mistake. This is why people come to us here at UCS Advisors, because we teach you how to actually talk to investors, and we join you on investor phone calls. Because an investor will say, oh, well, I can get at least a 700% return or a 1,000% return in 2 years. Great, show me the deal. Great, show me some experience. A lot of times it's BS. But James, what percentage of investors expect if founders have invested their own money? 100%. Plain and simple. Because here's the scenario. If this wasn't cannabis, and let's call a spade, if this was not cannabis, it was any other business, you'd put your own money into it. Between the lawyers, the accountants, the permits. You might spend 50, 60 grand just researching to see if this is a good deal for you. All right. And why do I bring this up is that, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, we represent over 800 individual investors. We get them invested in cannabis deals. About 30 to 40% of those investors all originally want to start a business in cannabis. And then we got to us like, hey, I want to do a business. I want to open up a business. Then we went over how much it's going to cost. We went over 280E. We went over how small the profit margin can really be. And they go, oh, snap. I don't really want that. I just want to make some easy money. Great. Then why don't you become an investor instead of a business owner? But all investors want to make sure that I repeat, that you have invested some of your own money. All right. And on top of that too, probably 80% to 85% of investors want to see you raise money from friends and family. Now, ironically, there are some hedge funds who I don't want you to raise any money from friends and family. I don't want you to have a difficult time at Thanksgiving or Christmas or the holidays, which I say is BS, point blank. But at the end of the day, if you haven't put in some of your own money, then you know what? Why should I give you money? And when someone says, oh, I can't afford it, or oh, I'm not going to sit here and do that, then it means you're not committed. I'm going to tell you right now, and this goes back to what I was talking about my example about sacrifices. You know what? You really want it bad enough? Don't go out to dinner for 6 months. Don't buy Starbucks. Don't go out to the movies. You know what? Go to the gas station where you save 15 to 20 cents a gallon. Listen, at the end of the day, myself, and I didn't talk about too much, I've lost $3 million of my own money in this industry. I was way too early. I was that guy, went on food stamps. I had my car repossessed. I in the process of getting evicted from my apartment. Oh, I let it all ride. But at the end of the day, to get back, I also made sure I made sacrifices.
It's all about the sacrifices.
And that's what people forget all the time.
All about entrepreneurship is all about sacrifices, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't get in there and roll your sleeves up and show, especially when it comes to investment, that's the number one indicator of how serious you are. I mean, just think about it. Put yourself in the same shoes. Somebody coming to get money from you and they're scared to put up their own money and they're asking you for money. What does that look like just from the rip? Just look at it as basics like that and just say, all right, that doesn't look right. I got to make sure that I got some cash in it as much as I can put up. And just like Dr. David said, there's ways for everybody to save money. And I'm a big proponent of the same thing. We all waste so much money every single week on everything, additional food, weed, drinks, whatever. You can cut back on whatever you want and save whatever you want to really do what you want. And I'm also a big proponent of that. I'm hardcore when people tell me they can't. There's no such thing for me.
Let's take it a step further. When I want to open up our third location in Manhattan, I didn't have the extra capital, and I was actually in the process of moving apartments. I went through and I looked at, hey, I have speakers. I have an old stereo stuff I don't use. I have some couches I'm not bringing with me. Hey, I have some extra silverware. I have some extra barware. I sold literally my bar that I had, everything I had there, the glassware, the bar, the chairs, because I'm not bringing it with me. Mm-hmm. You know what? I made enough money from that to open up a small office in Manhattan. So the reason why I bring this up is mainly due to the fact that at the end of the day, you can do it. Now, Manny asked really quick, you talk about the pros and cons of both VC and a REIT. For a REIT, I'm not a fan of it, point blank. I'm just not. Plain and simple. I can tell you the pros, I can tell you the cons, and Manny, we can talk offline. Chris, throw in feel free to throw in my email address. I can't type it in. But man, we talk offline. VCs though, remember, a venture capitalist, 80% of their companies don't make it within 10 years. Second part is this, is that when it comes to VC money, remember, they're a shark. They're going to take the majority of your company. So you can kind of be like an inventor. You might only have 5 or 10% of your company left. All right. And that's the other thing you got to think about too when it comes to venture capitalists. What if you don't have the business experience? What if you don't have the real life experience of growing a company? There's a venture capitalist firm that I'm meeting with tonight here in Las Vegas. They're based out of California. They've probably done about 20 cannabis deals. And the very first interview, when they interview you to see if they want to invest in you, they say this: where do you see your role in the company in the next 5 to 7 years? If you say that you're still going to be in charge of your company, you failed their interview. Next. We'll talk to you.
I love that.
Hey, no.
I love that.
Oh, and if I even hit 50 or 60% of my projections, we're going to grow the company in a way that I don't have the experience. I don't have to bring in some outside help. So I cannot stress that enough.
That is,
All right.
and that's what it's all about too, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to raising capital, the investors want to know, if you know what you know, it's okay to know what you know, but you just have to be smart enough to put other components and pieces in place that are filling in the gaps of your weaknesses. If you have a weakness or a gap, just put some people in place that are surrounding and making sure that those all are filled. You don't have to go and try to fudge it and act like you know something when you don't. It is actually much worse to do that. It's much better to just simply surround yourself with the intelligent people, just like Henry Ford's story, right? Henry Ford was a guy, never graduated high school, I think he had a 6th grade education. They used to make fun of him because he didn't know math, and he would always crack back at everybody and say, I don't need to know math. I hired the best mathematicians in the world right here to do all my calculations. And look what he did without knowing how to add any damn thing. He said, I'll just get people to know how to add for me. Guys, that's what you got to do, man. It's nothing. There's no barrier to business.
And Gary, let's say, because I see a question from Marianne, what's the best way to find an active investor who would add value to the team in return for equity? You know what? That's also one of the top 10 common mistakes when raising capital. That's a big no-no, okay? And Marianne, we actually had a special speaker, a banker, who literally came in and spoke to our UCS Power Group about this. On the 3rd Wednesday of every month, we bring in a specialist. Gary, that's right, a specialist that literally talks real life facts. And this banker is point blank. One, the only thing you got is equity. So why are you giving away equity to someone right off the bat that in the beginning? You don't, okay? Until you're actually making money, you want to hold on to your equity. Most people are afraid to take on debt. No, take on debt in the beginning, because then when you when you have more equity down the road, or when your company's worth more down the road, you have a higher valuation, you can give away less equity. Second thing is this. When it comes to an investor to be active, you have to be very clearly define what you want that investor to do. We tell people, oh, I want an active investor. Great. Tell us their 5 things that they have to do for you every month or every quarter. Oh, I don't have that. Well, if you're not teaching them and you're not showing them their expectation levels, then how can you sit here and expect them to be active for you? The third thing is this. A lot of times when it comes to an active investor, most investors, if they're going to be active, they want over 50% of your company. Most investors aren't going to get up for 5, 10, 12% unless you're giving them a board seat, unless you're giving them some type of power. Here's a great example. We have a lot of accountants who are investors, and they have in there, hey, I may only have 5% or 10% equity, but anything that costs more than $5,000 requires my pre-written approval. That's right. The accountant's stepping in. But now let's take another step further for an investor to be active. Okay, how do you find what's the best way to find an active investor? It's about you and your board of directors. Do you have the proper capital raising skills? Because what happens is this: part of raising money is learning the capital raising skills. And when you look at successful entrepreneurs, they learn the art of raising money. People talk about Mark Cuban. Go Google Mark Cuban on YouTube about his capital raising. He didn't want to do it at all. He had to learn those interpersonal skills, such as picking up the phone and talking to people, not relying on text messaging all the time or email. Okay, you have to know you have to have the proper capital raising skills. And here's a great example: if you have a capital raising calendar, you already know how to talk to your active investors. Here's a great example: Terply. They're the artificial intelligence of cannabis. They're in over 20 plus states for dispensaries. They're clients of UCS Advisors. Probably one of the things that we did for Terply was we went over their newsletter for their investors, so the investors would be more active, and how to do proper phone calls with their investors to ask so they could be active. So long story short, an investor, if you really want them to be active, they'll be active, but they're going to require board seats. They're going to want some voting control on certain things, and you may not want that. Versus, you have to teach them how to be active.
That's a great statement. Teaching them how to be active instead of wanting them to be active, right? This is the same thing in business. And when I own a 27-year-old digital marketing agency, web development company, all that good stuff. I work with multiple clients, Fortune 500 companies, all that good stuff. I learned very quickly how to tame my clients to make sure that they would understand and set expectations in the beginning, and make sure that they would communicate in the way that I preferred, my communication preferences and XYZ, so that I can get the most done for my client and get them the biggest bang for the buck. That's what you got to do the same way, man. You have to create and mold and shape your ideal scenario.
Exactly. And it comes down to learning the skills. So what people forget is when it comes to networking, when it comes to raising capital, when it comes to literally raising money, it's a skill set you're going to need. And we tell people this all the time. We'll say, oh, and Gary, we've talked about this on stage at the Real Campus Entrepreneur Conference. Oh, I can't afford your 10 hours of service. 1, it's $3,100. 2, we take credit cards. And 3, we have a refund policy within 90 days for any unused hours. Here's your peace of mind. But here's more importantly, when you raise your first round of money, I'm going to tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, you have to raise more money a year down the road or 2 years down the road. What, you're going to have to go hire someone else again? Or why don't you start to learn that skill set now?
Right.
I started my first company when I was 24. At 26, my business partner, I was very blessed, was literally a capital raising advisor. And I got to learn from one of the best in the world. I was very blessed. And back then, you didn't have websites. You didn't really have LinkedIn. You didn't have Instagram. You didn't have Facebook. Raising money is even easier now, Gary. If you have your house in order, if you know what you're doing, if you plan accordingly, and you learn the skill set.
Yes. I remember raising capital back in the day, man. It was quite a chore, and people used to set up big calling centers and everything just to have guys pounding the phones, trying to find investors all day, manual action. Now we got social media, we got other things at our fingertips that we can easily get the word out. We could share, we could show everybody what's happening. You couldn't do that back in the day. You didn't have those capabilities of doing that. It's still, the money was being raised. They had a tougher time, and that was what Dr. David was talking about before in the beginning, like back in the early 2000s. That was the internet boom. The money was flowing all over the place. Everything was skyrocketing. And now we're in a different position now where things are reshaping, molding, resetting, and kind of putting things in perspective. And investors are smarter now. They've seen those crazy runways that those big tech companies had, burned up a whole bunch of money with no revenue models at the end of the day, because the internet was the wild, wild west, the brand new thing. So people went outside of their normal investment mindsets and said, this company's going to go big. And, Twitters and all those guys, they did, but some of them didn't. But that mindset is now gone in the investor world, and people want to see those numbers. Gary, they want to see the data.
Gary, let's take it another step further. And I want to talk about another huge mistake made. And this is particularly for New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. This is where I see this mistake done the most right now. Stop hoarding and holding on to your investors like a death grip. Remember that old cartoon? I'm going to love you and pet you and squeeze you. And right. You. Okay, so and this happens a lot in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. People say, oh, I got a group of like 7 or 8 investors, but I'm not ready yet. But they're going to invest. I think they might invest, but I can't tell anyone about them. But then they say no to your deal. What you can do is this. If an investor says no to your deal, show a sign of true professionalism. Show yourself that you're a true entrepreneur and say, oh, if my deal wasn't the right fit for you, what kind of deal are you looking for? I might have a friend. I might have an associate. I might have a company in my network that might be looking to raise money that fits your investment criteria. Can I give an introduction for you? And here's it. And literally, and Chris Baglio knows this point blank, because literally we've seen this happen in Colorado, California, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine. We've had clients, the investors said no. It wasn't the right fit. And then from there, what ended up happening is that we literally sat here and we said to them point blank the following. That client said, you know what? We're not the right fit. What is? I'm going to refer you over to UCS. They have some other clients that the deals might be good for you. And these investors invested in other deals. They're happy. The client then becomes ready to become investable. And the previous investor says, you know what? You weren't ready a year ago, but you're ready now. And I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm going to give you money because you referred me to another deal. And I appreciate that. And that's
another killer.
True professionalism right there. And that you're truly an entrepreneur.
Truly. And that one, ladies and gentlemen, y'all need to pay attention to that one, because that one was such a great tip. Such a fabulous, ridiculously great tip, guys, for coming from a marketer. When marketer, we use these types of things to market and continue to grow business, right? But that's a marketing strategy. That's actually a marketing strategy to not only, if you're going toward the person that doesn't want your deal, to help them find something else, right? It's the same thing we do in marketing. When we're doing press and PR, the journalists, we're looking at, and we're trying to get our story written up, and he may not have it at that time. So I say, all right, he's right. I need something for this story. Instead of just saying, oh, I don't have that. See you later, Mr. Journalist. Say, hey, let me help you find it. I got a buddy who's got this or that or this or that. Now, next time I come back to that journalist, he's going to remember me. He's going to say, man, thank you, Gary. I really appreciate, man. You helped me with that story. story. My back was against the wall, and you got me through. So guys, I'm telling you, that is a marketing strategy of marketing strategies. Every investor that you have, like Dr. David say, don't hold on to them like there's some golden rail. Man, spread it around. Get them other deals, because they're going to love you for finding them some other great deals.
And let's take it, and let's also talk about, once again, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, more so Philly area. We hustle. We hustle and bustle. People around the country know we hustle and bustle. Remember, also people talk. Real life example, we had a client down in South Jersey. They had 3 investors. They're holding them, Each investor said no. We ended up meeting one of these investors at an event in New York City. Like, oh, we know this client. They're actually a client of ours here at UCS. They go, oh, well, we said no to their deal. Why don't they refer us to you? We want to invest in this other deal. Now this investor says, I'm never going to invest in this company down in South Jersey because I think they lied to me. They were selfish. Wow. Why didn't they refer me to you guys? Because just because they weren't ready for my money, but I need to deploy money now for tax reasons. And this one, everyone, it's almost a fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. You know what that means? If people made money this year, they got to spend money to avoid taxes.
Yes, sir.
You know, people forget about this, that it's about paying it forward. And when I raised my first $14 million in 2010 for cannabis, it wasn't cool to be in cannabis back then. It took me 63 private investors to raise my first 14 million. And it's still to this day, I had investors who said no to us, but I referred them to other deals. They came back a couple of years later. Remember, it's about thinking ahead, looking past the hood of the car. And these are little tricks of the trade that unless you have real life experience, you're not gonna know about this. And this is where they literally go out and get someone like, hey, Gary has his power group to bring other people together. Gary runs his Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference to see it bring the community together, where it's no longer woe is me, it's how can we maintain our PMA, a positive mental attitude, and take it to the next level? Opportunities are here.
Yes, sir. Opportunities are everywhere laying around, ladies and gentlemen. It's just about taking it, man, looking at those opportunities and taking advantage and being prepared. And that's what Dr. David is talking about. And having all of your ducks in a row so that when the opportunity comes, like October 5th and 6th at the conference, October 5th and 6th, Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're prepared. We're going to have tons of investors in the room. We got our Spark Tank session where Dr. David is one of the judges on Spark Tank to judge, and we're doing a ton of pitches. And we're going to do some even crazier stuff this year for the actual Spark Tank pitch contest, cannabis business pitch contest. We got some, I'm not even going to let y'all know. It's just a big surprise, but I'm just telling you, you need to be ready. Get all your stuff together because there's going to be a ton of regular investors in there looking for great deals. And the people that are speaking their talk and have all of their ducks in a row and have things together are going to be the easiest target, the lowest hanging fruit for those individuals looking for deals. Now, Dr. David said one other important thing. It's getting the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter means the people, like he said, people who are making lots of money have to get rid of that money by the end of the year or else they're going to get taxed on it. So a lot of times they got to dump it somewhere else or they're just going to pay it to Uncle Sam. Why not you? Why not it be you rather than Uncle Sam? Just get in the path and say, hey, I got this opportunity. That's the reason why that calendar, investment calendar, you heard Dr. David talk about, he's not giving it here, guys. You got to come to the conference for the investor calendar, which is going to show you the playbook. This is what Dr. David took him many years to figure out, the whole playbook. You're going to get it there at the conference, man. So big up for that. Dr. David, man, stayed on extra long with us. Oh, my goodness. He's in Vegas, enjoying the sun, out in the desert, still having fun with us. You know what I mean? Big up to you, Dr. David. Do you have any final closing words, man? Because I don't want to hold you, brother.
My final closing words is this.
Good juice, baby. Good juice.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 3% success rate for raising money. So for every 100 investors you talk to, 3 will maybe give you money. So with that being said, instead of trying to go this on your own, we all are busy. Time, value, money. Either one, you can go on YouTube and try to learn for 30, 40, 50 hours, or you can go out and get someone to help you and assist you so you can fast track everything. And last but not least, I can't stress this enough. Go to ucsquiz.com. Take the quiz to see if you're ready or not. Because guess what? After you take the quiz, you get an instant feedback on where you are if you're fundraising. Instant feedback.
I love that. I love that quiz, man. I love quiz. I'm a marketer guy. I'm a marketer. We use quizzes all the time. Quizzes give us data, and it also helps the individual at the same time. I love quizzes. You should go take that quiz immediately to see exactly, because that quiz is going to give you some information about things that you're going to need. So make sure that you come to the conference on October 5th and 6th with your data deck and everything together and everything tight, and you're going to know how to talk that investor talk. You're going to know which pieces of the puzzle you need to give them, of the presentation, and you're going to know how to present it properly by just having this quick power session with Dr. David today. So big up to Dr. David, ladies and gentlemen. Big up to Dr. David, ladies and gentlemen. We got to take them out with some smoke. I want some D's in the chat. Throw the D's in the chat. Throw the D's in the chat. Everybody throw those D's in the chat so we can take Dr. David out with a bang, baby.
Ryan, if you're in Vegas, let's try to hook up. I'll see you at the conference later tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's it. All right, everybody's loving it, man. They're all still going at it. Dr. David, big up to him.
If you like today, go to LinkedIn, and people ask, how can I return the favor? If you were here today and you listened, you got something from it, leave me a recommendation on LinkedIn. That's the biggest compliment you can give.
There you go.
Go to my LinkedIn, hit recommendation. I saw him speak at Gary George. I took a class, seminar. I learned something. That's the biggest compliment you can give me. People ask, how can I pay it forward? Go to my LinkedIn page, leave a recommendation. Really appreciate it.
That's what he wants, ladies and gentlemen. Go hit up Dr. David's LinkedIn page right now. Dr. David Koenig. Dr. David Koenig. Go get him on LinkedIn, guys, and leave him a review there. Let him know that you saw him today, and he gave you some great info, guys, because this is a whole bunch of game. This is literally, he just gave you a $10,000 consultation for free today. This is more than 10,000. We were going back and forth with questions. We got a lot out of this.
We went over more than four green nuggets. I think I went to 7, man.
Yeah,
I had some extra written down in case it went that way, and it did. So I'm happy. We were able to pay it forward. Gary, I love the journey. I've been with you for a hot minute, man, since the original days, the Tough Love Award.
Yeah. So, love it, man. This year is going to be super dope, man. This is our 6th year and 10th show. I can't even believe it, man. Time has flown that fast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the place where you get real information. Dr. David is in the building. Dr. David Koenig. Give it up once again, ladies and gentlemen, for Dr. David Koenig. Let's let him holler back in Vegas, man. We're going to see him on stage.
I got PMA, baby. PMA. Positive attitude. And when you see us October 5th and 6th, if you see me or my COO, Chris, ask us for a PMA pin. We'll be handing them out.
Let's go.
Attitude.
There it is. Dr. David, we're out, brother. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. All right. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, was that a crazy session or what? Was that a crazy session or what? I told you he was going to drop the bombs, man, and that was a lot of juicy information today. PMA, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you come to the conference October 5th and 6th. That's where you're going to get all of the goodies, the additional stuff, the investment calendar, the other things that you heard Dr. David talk about that you might have some additional questions. This is the place where you'll get to ask it, get to hang out, chill, and he's going to present a lot of other additional secrets and things that have not been exposed. Manny, big up to you, big up to Ryan, big up to Chris, big up to Valerie, big up to all my people in the building. David H in the building, Toronto's always in the building, getting that information, making it happen. Manny, Marion Bays, James, Donna, all of y'all. Big up Guy Channel's in the building. Big up to all of y'all. Tara in the building, man. Thank y'all for attending, man. Once again, October 5th and 6th, realcannabisentrepreneur.com. Go check out Dr. David. Go check out Dr. David and take his free quiz, ladies and gentlemen. Go there right there. UCSgreatness.com. UCSgreatness, right? .com. You'll find a link on there to get to that quiz, man. But that's going to tell you if your investment's ready. If you're an investor that's ready to, you are have an investment opportunity and your business is ready to go. He delivered a lot of great information here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a powerhouse session. We should have charged for this one, Dr. David. We should have charged. But we're going to give it to you guys for free today because we want to see everybody succeed, man. At the end of the day, if we're more of us who succeed, the more meat on the bone for all of us to continue to flourish in this industry, baby. So if you're ready to pitch, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, ucsquiz.com, ucs.com, ucsquiz.com. Go check out Dr. David. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for today. Get your $20 off coupon at realcanna23.com. Go get $20 off and you can use Webinar FAM 20 off. Webinar FAM 20 off. Hurry up, guys, because that price is going up tonight, midnight. Literally, the 50% off sale ends tonight at midnight. Webinar FAM 20 off. Use that and go to realcanna23. Actually, I was supposed to end the sale last night, but I was too sleepy and I didn't end it. So I'm going to end it this tonight and give you guys some extra time. So make sure you get into that. Now, everybody who wants to get in, I saw some of the applications coming already for our private mastermind group. Cannabis Mastermind Group, guys, if you want to Be surrounded with smart people like Dr. David, like myself, like Chef Jazz, like Kim B, like many of the other superstars that we have in our mastermind. We started with 8 individuals. We're now up to 172 individuals with people in 8 different countries, Virgin Islands, Mexico, South Africa, all over. So we not only do we learn from what we're doing cannabis domestically, United States wise, but we're also learning about international. And we're also doing deals internationally with some of our other members and putting together strategies and putting together ideas and putting together international pushes. So guys, this is the group that if you're really serious about your business, we don't accept everybody. You got to be qualified. You got to be serious. But if you are, and you're about that life and you're ready to take your business from 0 to 60, go to realcannabisentrepreneur.com/mastermind. realcannabisentrepreneur.com/mastermind. Ladies and gentlemen, all right. And without further ado, man, I think that is it for today. This was a powerhouse session, man. Big up to all of y'all for hanging out. Big up to all of y'all for hanging out with us today, man. Appreciate it. Big up, man. And I'm out, but we got to get it going. We got to keep it moving. Big up to all of y'all, but go to realcannabisentrepreneur.com and get your tickets today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in for another Real Cannabis Entrepreneur Conference webinar session, baby. And we got that smoke. We got the smoke. And we'll see you on stage in North New Jersey, Doubletree, October 5th and 6th. Don't miss it.